What is up, YouTube? Today, this is going to be like the second part. This may be the last part. We may have one more after this. I'm not sure, depending on how this video goes. So I'm going to go ahead and get these slides switched. I kind of wish they would just let you choose beforehand. We'll see if... Yep, random play isn't working now, of course. So we're going to go cover 3 sky. We're random play works now. Whatever. This game is so broken beyond belief. We're going to go and fall down. But we're going to be sticking in this 3-4 odd going against a single back wing flex close. Against one of the best. I don't think it is. I would seriously argue that it is probably one of the worst teams to use in rigs, and I have my reasons for that. If you guys want to know why, I can show you guys probably the best team to run it. But we're going to be sticking in this single back wing flex close. This is probably one of the hardest formations to defend consistently. Now we're going to be in edge blitz 1. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple changes right here as far as where I want everybody. Oh, never mind, it's all set up for me. We're going to go edge blitz 1. Again, that will be down below in the description how I set up my run defense. And then we're going to kind of resume from last time. So this is what we're looking like right now. We've got 2 curl flats, and we're going against a stretch play in this example. So we kind of left off about understanding what your opponents want to do and how if they're going to be runner or passers. There's no question about that. The first drive, talked about, it's going to be your most important drive. I'm not going to break down the stretch and dive defense. We're going to go more so the mentality of a run first type player. So first off, we've established run defense. We've shown that we can stop there in the backfield. And now we're going to go ahead and switch it up. We're going to start passing. So we're going to talk a little bit about audibles that they may have set. And I'm not an expert on passing out of single back wing flex close, but these are some audibles that I'm going to have in there instead. I'm going to have drive wide corner, 4 verticals, and stick. Stick is particularly effective against man coverage, which edge blitz 1 is a man defense behind it. But as we get into the video, we'll explain why we have these curls out there to begin with. So let's just come out and stretch. We're almost always coming out and stretch for this particular formation. Again, 3-4 odd. If you guys want this run defense, be sure you check it out down below in the description for both the dive and stretch. So right here, we're going to go ahead and audible into drive wide corner. Oftentimes when you get a runner into a passing situation, especially when they're in a run heavy formation like the single back wing flex close, it's really going to be dictated upon how well you can adjust. Now these curl flats, depending on what they do with their routes on the field, they can be pretty easy manipulated. Now if you expect a corner out, generally what we're going to be looking for are, we're going to have cloud flats. There we go, cloud flats on the field instead of curl or purples. I forgot what curl flats. Curl flats. Here we go. I don't remember what they're called. I just know purples. So we're gonna have cloud flats out there instead of curl flats, simply because they tend to play corner outs a little bit better, and they're less likely to get manipulated to be forced to play the flats instead. This is personal choice, but if you notice that your curl flats in that particular game are playing the corners fairly well, then by all means leave the curl flats out there. The only trick about curl flats is it's kind of self-explanatory in the name. They go to the curl, they go to a corner, and they come down to the flats. They don't stay up on the corner out as long as a cloud flat would. If you guys want a full breakdown of all these zones, check out MeisterMadden.com. We break every kind of zone you can think down. Quarters, thirds, halves, every yellow zone, etc., and how they play. So right here, this is probably a look I'm going to give on defense. Now, say we audible into drive wide corner, not 4 verticals. We're going to be a little different against 4 verts. We're going to go ahead and snap this ball. Now, as a user, you're responsible for pretty much anything deep. Primarily Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is no longer manned up. So if there's a streak going down the field, very few people are going to be able to keep up, especially with linebackers, and you're going to have to take away that manually. So the first assignment for any kind of base run pass defense, if you want to go that way, is to protect the deep bomb with your user. First it's run, second it's deep bomb, then come down to the flats or come down to the short routes. If you don't see anything developing deep, then just automatically come down short and just take away any kind of little drags, hitches, maybe a dig route, whatever the case may be. So we're going to go ahead and just snap this ball. We're going to play it as this. We see the B's developing. B's no longer doing a little, what do you want to call it? He's no longer doing a streak. We see he cuts inside. So then we're able to come down instead of fully committing to a streak. I'm going to go ahead and audible into verticals. Now for verticals is going to be a little different how we set this defense up. because the way that these vertical routes can develop, oftentimes they can beat man coverage, especially if they have speed. And the deep route running, I think it's 90 deep route running. I don't know if I believe these stats at all or not, but the best way to kind of counteract that is to put curl flats out there. Curl flats tend to play these wheel routes long enough for the guy that's manned up to be able to catch up. Now you can also do a pass commit and shade over top, and that tends to help as well. The trick with that is if they do decide to run the ball on you, well, yeah, you just kind of screwed your whole defense. I mean, you could set up perfect run defense, and I kid you not, it's just going to get absolutely torched because you pass commit. So generally when I'm looking for this, I'm looking for just a shade over the top to help the man coverage keep up with it. And then just look for any kind of routes that you may think is going to beat their man and take that away with the user. You may have to cover 2 routes at a time, but for how long the route's going to take to develop, you should be able to have enough time to be able to catch up, make a play on that ball, or at least click onto the defender and get them into position. So right here, we're going to go ahead and run 4 verticals. Really basic. You see right here, B is guarded by nobody. Bobby Wagner's tripping over Dak Prescott and an offensive lineman. But we're able to take that away as well. Now, if we go into instant replay, there's one guy that was open, which we can make a play as a user. Let's go, and I want to talk about this real fast. Number 13. Wheel routes beat man coverage. You see right here, beats his man. Now, if he still decides to throw that, which he probably would, our user is generally going to be close enough to run over there and to make a play on the ball. Now, with the user in mind, please have somebody that is fast, at least 90 speed. Height, I don't honestly know if height matters this year or not. I've messed around with height. I've seen no difference in animations whatsoever. 6'2", whether you're 6'2" or 5'10", you pretty much get the same animations. But right here you can see Gallup beats his man, but even though he may be, like 2-3 steps, maybe 4 steps ahead of him, generally what's going to happen is even if they decide to throw that ball, you're still going to be able to click on, and it's more likely either going to click you onto this corner right here, or if you're already using this guy, you should just make a play on the ball. But if you click on, it's going to click you onto here, or if you get really unlucky, which it's Madden 20, you may get clicked onto this linebacker instead. Unfortunately, there's nothing to do right there. But let's just zoom out and back up real quick. So first off, we've set up for the run. We've kind of committed to the run at first. We see it's not a run, it's a 4 verticals. We know Amari Cooper is not guarded by anyone. While he does have the underneath, ran by Ezekiel Elliott, you'll see this curl flat will come down to the flats eventually. Now, because of this wheel route, the wheel route pulls him up, but he will come down to play this flat. Give it some time. As you can see right here, this guy plays the flats because there's nobody else immediately that he needs to play on the sideline. So this is kind of how I'm going to set up my quote-unquote base run pass defense when you're not really 100% certain what they're doing. Again, I kind of want to repeat that you should know fairly well if it's a long drive, the first drive. You should know by the second drive what they want to do, if not by the third drive. By the third drive, you should have seen all their good plays or plays that they want to go to, what they want to do in particular situations, and at least be fairly confident in what kind of adjustments you want to put on the field. So, with that being said, there's one final play I want to talk about, and that is the stick. I think this is probably just going to be the last part of this little video series I wanted to bring out. But stick is going to absolutely torch man coverage. Guys, there's pretty much nothing you can do about this. The only suggestions I could give, which is really going to hurt you in the long run, is drop Y and A instead of blitzing them and putting them into hook curls instead. Now, I'm talking about how this is going to hurt you in the long run, especially if you're overly committing to the pass. These guys aren't going to play as aggressively, especially if you shade over top and pass commit. You're going to get pretty much, you can say, hey, here's a touchdown, have it. So just be really careful with this kind of adjustment. Generally, I'm still going to set up my run defense and keep run defense first. And then me as a user, if it's stick, we're just going to take away anything that we feel that is going to get open. In this case, Amari Cooper may be the one that's getting open. Right there, screaming, sack. So, while there is going to be a lot of routes that you're going to have to guard, in this particular formation, there's a lot of other formations. I mean, tons of formations I could cover, like I-form close, I-form wing, any kind of shotgun formation, honestly. You really just gotta understand what your opponent's tendencies are, what you're willing to give up, and what you're willing to take away. If you don't play run defense first against a toter, you're really gonna struggle against stopping these kind of players. I've said this a lot, and I want to keep repeating it just because it is that important. Run defense first, pass defense second. If you can get them down into a passing situation, it's at that moment we can start playing a little more aggressively with zones and adjustments and worry less about the run, but still be aware of things that they may do. Again, this is a basic. I don't know what play we're in right now. Did we come out on stretch? So right now, let's just assume we really play the pass heavily. We're even going to pass commit. Why is that guy? There we go. We're going to pass commit. We're going to shade over top. And this kind of give you guys an example of what may happen. You can see right there. While the user could have made a play on that, Zeke's going to get a lot more yards. Whereas if you were to play run first, pass second against a toter. So that's pretty much going to, I mean, this video is a little long, but this is the best advice I guess I could give anybody that's struggling against stopping a runner. Is first off, make that first drive long. You want to extend it and get as many fourth downs as you can to see every kind of play they want to throw at you. Secondly, set up run defense first, pass defense second. Lastly, if you can get them into a passing situation, but they're still in a run formation, don't go into a passing defense like the big dime 1-4-6. Otherwise, you're like saying, I don't even know. If I had like, here's some candy, here's my baby, sucking a lollipop, please rip it out of its mouth. That's pretty much what you guys are asking for. Never, ever come out in a pass defense against a run set. That's my wife texting right now. But never come out in a passing defense against somebody that's going like single back wing flex close, even I form close, even single back trio. Never ever come out in a pass defense against any kind of single back formation. Otherwise, you're probably going to end up paying for it in the long run. So guys, that's going to take care of this video. I was originally planning on making this like a 3-part series, but if there's any specific questions you guys want me to cover, I can make another video on this. Otherwise, this is going to be kind of the last part of this little mini series I have going for you guys. So feel free to ask me in the comment section if there's anything in specific you want to cover, and I will try my best to cover it. So until next time, guys, get in the lab. This has been Team Meister. See ya.